So, hi everyone, we're back again. And today we really wanted to emphasize something really important, that nothing in our lives will change until we change ourselves. And what I mean by that, you can read all the information, you can read the books, you can hear, you can understand it with your logic, but no changes are possible until we turn this understanding into deep inner knowledge. And that only comes through experiencing and embodying things. So that means that everything we've been talking about when it comes to manifestation, so looking at your thoughts, understanding your emotions, where do emotions come from, journaling, connecting with the vision, how do you make decision? We spoke about intuition and taking action. It's all great if you've got on a piece of paper and you're understanding and you're resonating with it, but now it's time to really integrate it. And we've given you some practical tips. And today, actually, we wanted to talk about one particular person who really had a big impact on both of our lives, and just give you some more tips and suggestions as to where else you can go if you're looking for extra information. Because the way we really resonate, with information, with people, it's all different, right? You may, let's say, adopt journaling or breath work or meditation or going for a walk, and different tools will help you at different types and also will resonate with different people. And that's why I believe, especially in the beginning of our journey, when we're learning how, to become that different person, how to hold a vision of what we want to achieve, the more tools we have in our toolbox, the more really we will be able to start embodying and integrating this knowledge into our lives. So the person we wanted to dedicate this episode to is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he is a neuroscientist who bridges the scientific world and a spiritual world. And I had a privilege of meeting his team and volunteering at his events. I went to also quite a few of his events, and he was the catalyst for my personal growth and for my personal development back in 2018, 2019. So when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to achieving our goals, basically that's what manifestation is, right? Creating what it is that we want, to achieving our goals, to creating something that maybe we haven't done in the past. It all starts with intention. And the first thing I want to say before I pass over to Sarit is that how we start our day is very important. So think about, how do you start your day? What do you do first thing in the morning? Do you just reach for your phone? Do you listen to the news? Do you put a telly on? Or do you just spend a few minutes visualizing your day? Because the day is going to unfold, but how it unfolds actually depends on our intention. And for that, seeing that we're dedicating this episode to Dr. Joe, I really wanted to, and I'll put some links also in the description of the video, I wanted to invite you to maybe explore a morning meditation with Dr. Joe, where he literally guides you. It's only like 15, 20 minutes. He guides you through an experience of how you can create your day consciously. So Sarit, what do you want to add about Dr. Joe?
So Dr. Joe is an amazing person that for me made the first connection for me that actually, as a person, what I feel inside is part of who I am. And if the biggest thing for us is emotions, and emotions create our personality, this is how we will show up in the world, this is the thought that's going to drive our decision. It is basically, the emotion is the creation energy of what we call ourselves. So he's the first person that actually made the connection for me that what I feel inside is part of who I am. And he has a great book that is talking about how we are also addicted to the way we feel. So for example, if I'm feeling certain emotion, I don't know how I'll wake up in the morning, and that emotion that will come, stress, anxiety, fear, whatever it is, when I wake up in the morning, those emotions will come back. So even though I want to be a happy person, I want to be peaceful, I want to be confident, I want to be whatever, first, that's probably not how I live my day-to-day, my inside of me. And most likely, I don't know how they feel. So to keep that emotion for the long run is a work that you need to do. And what Dr. Joe does the best in his meditation is actually helping you explore your inside, your emotion, getting to know how you live day to day, by the definition of your emotions. And that's the first thing, because you would understand for the first time, I believe, if you haven't done it before, what emotion are part of your day-to-day and probably define who you are. And then, and only then, can you create new emotions. And those new emotions are actually the power that we will continue to talk to you again and again and again, because this is the power that will magnetize exactly what you need, that manifestation destination that you want, that will actually attract back to you. And people sometimes do everything, okay, but if your emotion, if you're not vibrating, which vibrating is the emotion, in your destination, in the level of the person you want to be when you achieve your goal, there isn't a match. That will not come. You can get to the surrounding, you can get maybe around that, whatever, but it's not going to be what you want. And even if you will get that and you wanted to be a happy person, you're not going to be a happy person, because you don't know what a happy person needs to feel. And if you don't know what he needs to feel, you wouldn't know how to show as a happy person in the world. And this is the magic that Dr. Joe, he designed a really good process that you can follow. No real effort need to do the step by step by his meditation, and just start to know who you are, start to know what emotion drives your day to day, and if needed, in order to get to your goal, get to know how to change them.
Yeah, and what really, resonated with me specifically about Dr. Joe, because before I started doing his work, I've tried meditation, and it just felt to me like literally a waste of time. I was like, why should I sit and meditate if I can go for a run, or I can do something, I can just busy my mind. And the pivotal point for me was his book, The Habit of Breaking Yourself, something along this lines.
The habit of being yourself. Breaking the habit of being
breaking the
yourself.
habit of being yourself. That's it. Yes. Because he makes such a great point. He says every single day we literally live our lives on eat, sleep, repeat, right? You think about it. You wake up in the morning, you check your phone, you check the social media, news, whatever, you go brush your teeth. You probably also wake up on the same side of the bed. You then make a coffee, you then go to work, you literally repeat the same thing, and you're driven by the same set of emotions. And then we wonder why nothing in our lives changes. So in order to create a new reality, we have to create a new personality. And that's why I love his approach, because he gently helps you to do that. So it's not like something you've got to start stressing about. Oh my gosh, if I want to, let's say, get this big promotion, how do I become the person? I don't know what to do. It's like a step-by-step process. And what I've realized over the years, it's not something we can rush. It's like a natural unfoldment of events, but it all starting by observing your thoughts, and something we spoke about so many times by now, becoming present to your emotions, accepting what you're feeling, and of course, doing the work. So meditation is just a great, powerful tool. And Dr. Joe offers some incredible meditations. I literally used them for many, many years. That really helped me so much to start breaking the patterns and breaking the habit of being myself.
Remember, I think the best connection that you can do with Dr. Joe is the understanding that emotion are integral part of who you are. And I never knew that how I feel inside has nothing to do with outside. I usually used to look at the outside thinking that something will happen outside and it will change my emotion. And that's outcome happiness. And that's not the way reality works. And he got me to understand that emotion definitely are a part of who I am, and nothing will happen until I will change them inside, regardless of the circumstances outside. That's the only change. And then stuff can happen, and I will stay happy, and I will stay peaceful. And I think this is part of this manifestation process. If you stick with us up until now, it's time you will get to know yourself. Even if you wouldn't change anything, at least for the first time, be aware that emotions is definitely your creative juice. That's definitely part of who you are. That's just by default.
And I actually, sorry.
I just wanted to add one thing is that I said one good friend of mine used to tell me, if you want to create something new or do you want to get something in life, show up as the unexpected person. Unless you understand your emotion, you would still be that expected person, even if you think that you are doing something else, because you are not full in the universe.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we all know that, right? You get up and you feel this disharmony or maybe stress, and maybe you shouted at your kids because they didn't get ready for school in time or whatever it is, and then you get in a car and you hit every traffic light, red traffic light, you get stuck somewhere, your tire kind of goes flat, and then another day when you wake up feeling peaceful, the kids got dressed in time for a change, they even maybe tidy up their plates after breakfast, and everything is awesome, and you just like cruise along, there is no traffic, and you're like, well, how can there be such a difference? And that's because like what you said, Sarit, we create from the inside, and it's so important for us to understand that the circumstances around us is not really what's actually impacting us, it's other way around, it's how we feel that are impacting the circumstances around us. And since we're talking about manifestation, I just wanted to share with you a quick story, which is relevant to Dr. Joy and me. Years ago, it was 2018, I attended his week-long retreats in Brighton in UK. And we were doing manifestation practice and basically, visualizing the future we want to create. So back then I was a software consultant, workflow consultant, and I had this like vision, me working with elderly people. And I was like, oh, that's strange. I've got like no idea how that's even possible. And then I started kind of tapping into this vision and like thinking, right, well, it'd be so cool to help people who are elderly, they're stuck at home, somehow help them to get out and to really experience life and to remember a little bit, to have some fun. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I can create my charity. And then I was like, what name will I give it? And the first name that popped into my head was Driving Miss Daisy. So when I got home, I was like, that was such an exciting idea. And I started like looking up at the setting up charity, but it just not possible. I just didn't have the resources and time. So I've emailed a few existing charities and I said, this is my idea. This is how I want to help people. Do you guys like need volunteers, or how does this work? And Age UK, they emailed me and they said, well, it's a wonderful idea, but to start a charity, you will need a lot of resources and funds. It's not something so easy. They said, but why don't you look at this business opportunity? There is a franchise not far from where you live. Maybe you can contact them. Guess what the name was? Driving Miss Daisy. So, I mean, right. So, and now, well, I did it actually. And that's how I quit my job and I bought the franchise. I mean, even back then, I was a very good unconscious manifester. So even that, I was like, wow, what a coincidence. I had to act on it. And now I've had this business for 4 years. I've got 2 cars, I've got 2 drivers, and Driving Miss Daisy is up and running.
Lena, if I can use your story as an example, because you did everything that we asked to do. You had a vision, you actually, the video that we did, how do you act with that don't overthink decisions. So the minute she heard Miss Daisy and then it connected with her, she started making phone call and then she landed at Miss Daisy and she didn't even know what it means. And she acted upon everything that came up to her and then she landed. And this is exactly what we told you, that basically this is what you need to do. So she's called it unconscious manifestor, but she wasn't really unconscious because she did the most basic rules. She believed, she saw the vision, even if it wasn't detailed. And when the universe provided her opportunities, she acted up on them and landed where she was supposed to land. So
yeah, and I mean, when the logical mind switched on, because obviously I needed to go get the loans and all of this and all of the approvals, and you start looking at the Excel spreadsheets, which I didn't really look at. I just went with that feeling. Like I had my mom and other people looking at spreadsheet telling me that it's not going to add up. I'm not going to make any profit in the next few years. They're giving me millions of reasons as to why it's not going to work. And actually, when I started the business, 4 months later, we had COVID started and we did have to stop completely. But 4 years later, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of people, to have that life of more freedom, of more excitement, where they can go to the hospital appointments, they could go see their family, they could go to the weddings, and be doing better than before. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Sometimes when it just feels so right, and especially the universe is giving you such a sign where it literally matched your vision with the name of the business that somebody else introduced to you, don't ignore it. Act on it, because later on your deathbed, you're gonna regret that you did not take that opportunity.
Okay, you went to the extreme, so let's back up. She didn't. Nobody's gonna be dead today. Usually, my sentence, Lena, when you're asking me what I'm going to do next month, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm going to be alive. I really don't know. That's my sentence. But she also did not have any kind of negative or unsupportive emotion to it. She went with it. So manifestation even come faster, because the more we are second guessing ourselves, that this is also preventing us from getting there. We will get there, but it's going to take longer. So she did everything by the book. So just to close where we are, Dr. Joe is a dear person to both of our hearts. He took a big part in our journey. He's an excellent spiritual teacher. If anybody is hearing his name for the first time, if you are more logical and you want to see, medical supportive data to actually how meditation and how everything actually medically is impacting your body, your stress, your DNA, your level, and all of that. So Dr. Joe is the person for you to go through the spiritual journey with, because he is more connected to people that are actually looking for medical proof. And this is his junction point, or his door to helping people through there that are more, let's say, data driven and more look for real. But he's also talking about the magic of the universe, of course, but he proves that with actual medical data. We're going to ask you again to share with us. We're here to help you. So if you had any kind of, encounters, magic happened to you, we're really, really going to be happy if you're going to share with us, and we will be honored to take part in your journey by you sharing with us. And subscribe, Lena.
Yeah, and remember to follow us on Instagram, and I will link to Dr. Joe Meditation and his book that we've mentioned also in this video. Let us know how it goes. Bye.